Welcome, brave souls, to a realm where technology intertwines with terror, where the familiar glow of our screens casts a haunting shadow. Tonight, we unlock the chilling mysteries concealed within lost phones, devices that hold not only our connections to the world, but also the enigmatic and the eerie. I am your guide through the darkness, and together we'll journey into the heart of lost phone terror. So, dim the lights, brace yourself for the unknown, and prepare for stories that will send shivers down your spine. Story number 1. Dialing the Past, a Haunting Connection. In the heart of a bustling city, Sarah stumbled upon a lost phone that seemed to hold more than just digital messages. Intrigued by the mystery, she powered on the device and found herself immersed in a chilling tale that transcended time itself. The phone's home screen displayed an old-fashioned rotary dial, an anachronism in the modern age. It felt like a relic from another era, an era that held secrets waiting to be unveiled. As Sarah explored the device, she discovered a series of text messages that defied explanation. They were conversations between two people, Adam and Evelyn, who seemed to be living decades apart. Yet, their messages flowed seamlessly, as if the barrier of time was non-existent. The messages spoke of forbidden love, clandestine meetings, and a connection that went beyond the boundaries of their respective lifetimes. Sarah was captivated by the unfolding story, drawn into the lives of two souls who had found a way to communicate across the ages. But as she delved deeper, the messages grew increasingly ominous. Adam's messages became desperate, filled with warnings of impending danger, and a plea for Evelyn to escape her current circumstances. Evelyn's responses became sporadic, filled with fear and a sense of being pursued by an unknown force. Sarah's fascination soon turned to concern. She researched the names mentioned in the messages, tracing their origins to a forgotten chapter in the city's history. A tragic incident had occurred decades ago, an incident that involved a love affair, a disappearance, and a series of unexplained events that left the city in a state of shock. As Sarah dug deeper, she uncovered a chilling truth. The lost phone was not just a device, it was a vessel, a conduit that allowed Adam and Evelyn to communicate across the fabric of time. Their connection had inadvertently opened a portal, allowing the events of the past to seep into the present. Haunted by the voices from another era, Sarah realized the danger of meddling with the past. She became determined to close the rift, to sever the connection that had brought the echoes of history into her world. Armed with knowledge from both timelines, she devised a plan to put an end to the unfolding tragedy. In a daring act, Sarah reached out to Adam and Evelyn, imploring them to break their connection in order to preserve the timeline's delicate balance. The messages grew frantic as the two lovers resisted, torn between their desire to be together and the knowledge that their connection was unraveling the fabric of reality. Finally, with a heavy heart, Adam and Evelyn agreed to Sarah's plea. As they bid their final farewells across time, the lost phone's screen flickered, and the messages ceased. The air grew still, and the weight of the past lifted from the present. Sarah watched as the phone's screen went dark, the rift between timelines closing. The lost phone, once a conduit of history, was now a relic once again. With a deep breath, Sarah understood the power of connections that transcended time, and the responsibility that came with preserving the delicate threads of existence. Story number 2. Whispers from the Unknown, Mysterious Texts. Late one night, Emma found a lost phone, sitting on a park bench. Curiosity piqued. She took it home and powered it on. What started as a simple act of kindness soon spiraled into a chilling encounter with the inexplicable. As Emma explored the phone, she noticed a series of text messages from an unknown number. The messages were cryptic, filled with unsettling phrases that seemed to allude to a hidden world beyond the screen. Each message left her with a growing sense of unease, as if someone, or something, was trying to communicate with her. The texts spoke of forgotten realms, shadowy figures, and a looming darkness that threatened to breach the boundaries of reality. Emma's skepticism gave way to apprehension, and she found herself drawn into a conversation that defied logic. As the messages continued, Emma began to experience strange occurrences in her own life, whispers in the night, fleeting shadows in her peripheral vision, and a persistent feeling of being watched became her constant companions. She couldn't shake the sensation that the mysterious texts had opened a doorway to something beyond comprehension. Desperate for answers, Emma delved into the phone's history, tracing its origins to a series of disappearances that had plagued the city. The phone seemed to be a link to a hidden world, an alternate dimension where the rules of reality were distorted, and the boundary between the living and the otherworldly was blurred. Driven by a mixture of fear and determination, Emma responded to the texts, seeking to understand the intentions of the sender. The messages grew more insistent, urging her to embrace the unknown and to acknowledge the existence of forces that defied explanation. As Emma's exchanges with the mysterious sender intensified, so did the disturbances in her own reality. Objects moved on their own, her reflection seemed to waver in mirrors, and the air around her crackled with an energy she couldn't comprehend. It was as if the veil between dimensions was thinning, and Emma found herself at the center of an unfolding cosmic confrontation. In a final text, the sender revealed their true identity, a being that straddled the line between the human world and the realm of shadows. It offered Emma a choice: to embrace the unknown and become a conduit for its dark influence, or to sever the connection and protect the fragile equilibrium of reality. Faced with an impossible decision, Emma chose to break the connection, knowing that the consequences could be catastrophic. As she hit send on her final message, the air seemed to be still, and the whispers ceased. The lost phone's screen went dark, and the shadowy presence that had infiltrated her life receded. Emma had glimpsed into the abyss of the unknown, a realm where whispers from beyond beckoned with promises of forbidden knowledge. She had chosen to close the door on that world, but the echoes of her encounter would forever remind her that some mysteries are best left unexplored. Story number 3. The Silent Call, Echoes of a Sinister Encounter. In a quiet town, Mark stumbled upon a lost phone, lying by the roadside. Its screen was shattered, yet it still held a charge. Ignoring the warnings of danger, Mark decided to investigate the contents of the phone, unaware of the malevolent presence that lurked within. Upon turning on the phone, Mark discovered a single entry in the call log, an unknown number with no caller ID, curiosity gnawing at him. He dialed the number, half expecting it to be disconnected, but to his surprise, the call went through, and a chilling silence followed. Minutes passed, the line seemingly dead, until an unsettling whisper slithered through the receiver. The voice was distorted, a symphony of whispers merging into an eerie melody. Mark's heart raced as he strained to make out the words, an incomprehensible incantation that sent shivers down his spine. Terrified, yet strangely compelled, Mark found himself answering the whispers, his voice joining the haunting chorus. As he spoke, the air around him grew colder, and a shadow seemed to materialize before him, a shapeless, malevolent form that radiated darkness. With each exchange of words, the darkness grew stronger, its presence engulfing Mark's surroundings. He felt a suffocating weight on his chest, and the whispers intensified, as if demanding his submission to an unknown force. The voice in the phone and the presence before him seemed to converge, merging the digital and the corporeal. Desperation pushed Mark to end the call, but the silence that followed was not a respite. It was as if the whispering void had seeped into his mind, its echoes tormenting him even when the call had ended. Sleep became elusive, replaced by visions of shadowy figures and haunting whispers that seemed to emanate from the depths of his own consciousness. Haunted by his encounter, Mark sought answers about the lost phone and its sinister caller. He delved into local legends and found tales of a malevolent entity known as the Silent One, a being that existed between dimensions. Its whispers were a conduit for chaos and despair. Mark's research led him to a ritual that claimed to sever the connection between the living world and the realm of the entity. With trembling hands, he followed the instructions, chanting incantations to banish the whispers that had taken residence in his mind. As the ritual concluded, Mark felt a surge of energy, as if the tendrils of darkness were being severed one by one. The weight on his chest lifted, and the haunting whispers receded, leaving behind an eerie calmness. Though the encounter left Mark scarred, it also left him with a newfound appreciation for the boundaries of the unknown. He realized that some entities were best left undisturbed, that the pursuit of forbidden knowledge could lead to dire consequences. With the lost phone discarded and the memory of the encounter etched into his consciousness, Mark returned to the rhythm of normal life, but he carried with him a reminder that the line between the digital and the supernatural could be thinner than he had ever imagined. Take a moment to let the shivers subside, to catch your breath from the journey through the macabre. We hope these tales have left a mark on your imagination. And always remember, stay safe, stay curious. This is Nightmare Stories.